What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Today we're going over Yubel. This is a deck that's been really popular. It is a little bit better than Snake Eyes currently. Once the next set drops, obviously the deck's going to be hit with a lot more with the new Mole Charmy. Going to be essentially just impeding this deck's ability to play completely. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to be seeing more Yubel content, there's going to be a duel posted tomorrow, so stay tuned if you're looking for that. But dive into the deck profile. We are playing the 2 copies of Spirit, the 1 copy of Yubel, and the 1 copy of Terror. So a lot of players have been choosing and playing 3 copies of Used Spirit and then no copies of Terror. I think the 4 ratio is perfectly fine. You can tinker around if you want to. With gates being hit, you want to have a little bit more consistency towards the Yubel side of the deck. So being able to destroy the copy of Yubel and not have to just rely on destroying the copy of Spirit lets you summon this out and get another body onto the field. To accompany the Yubel engine, we are also playing the triple copies of City Lotus. This is going to be one of the better 1-card combos, leaving you access directly into the Spirit. Spirit gets you access to Nightmare Pain, the Nightmare Pain gets to pop a copy of Spirit, giving you access to a copy of the Gruesome Graver as well as Son of the Yubel. And then, of course, you can just extend up to there, go into your Yamas, put back these 2 in the graveyard to go up to your Phantoms, and you have essentially the whole engine running. To accompany that, you also have 2 copies of Squirmer. A lot of players have chose only play 1 of this. I like the 2 version because, you know, you have the ability to search it during the follow-up turn, as well as being able to put it back in the grave, or put it back from your hand or from the graveyard and still have access to search it. Can just be nice, quite nice. It's also a free extender, which is just absolutely just free. Then to follow up as an engine, we are playing triple copies of the Beast. You know, we are not playing any copies of Chaos. Now, some players are thinking that's going to be obviously wrong. That's obviously a personal choice, but this being able to search for your copy of the spell, and then if you have the spell already in your hand, then it is what it is. You know, there's not much you want else to be able to search for. You know, at that point, you're just not getting a free search, but at the point of consistency, I'd rather just have 3 copies of it and not brick my deck up a little bit more with a bad card to open. So that's why we're going for that. If you only have like the spell and then you have to start with the spell, search for the Beast, you know, at that point it's like, okay, well, what else is in your hand? Multiple hand traps. If that's the case, you probably can play anyways. So that's just definitely it for me. But then we also are playing the 1 copy of Shavara. This is going to be a free extender once again. You know, you play the Yama package, which is why you do this. It lets you have a few different combos as well, being able to pop the copy of the Spirit or the copy of Bell on the field to go for different lines. But that's really it for the Fiend stuff. We are playing the Fiendsmith Engravers, triple copies of this, as well as the copy of the Lurie. This is going to be a full combo in the deck as well. You know, a little bit better with the Aerial Eater, being able to dump a copy of the Samsardi Lotus or whatever else that you want to, and then going up to extend. You know, the copy of the Aerial Eater also can summon itself back out by putting a copy of Spirit of Yubel and then another Dark in the graveyard, also being the Princess, which is why this deck kind of utilizes the Fiendsmith Death engine a little bit better than every other deck that uses it. Then for hand traps, we're playing the same ratio that you have seen a lot on the channel. Triple copies of Ash, triple copies of Veiler, triple copies of Imperm, and the triple copies of Nibiru, alongside the 1 Magnemite and the 1 Druisworm. So nothing really has changed here. If you guys have seen any other deck profiles that have been doing, this is the very standard ratio that we are playing lately. Bystials are really good this format. You definitely can bump it up if you want to play another copy of Druisworm, or maybe a Baldric as well. I don't think Baldric gets that much, you know, just respect that it does deserve, especially in a deck like this. If you end on like a copy of Muckraker, and then you have like Caesar as well, you can just send the copy of Muckraker for your Baldric, and then get essentially pluses off that as well. But that's really it for the hand trap lineup. Now moving on to the spells, we are playing triple copies and 4 copies of the Nightmare Throne. They're 1-card combo. You know, you want to max out on your 1-card combos. And this deck does get hit with draw a lot, but this does not warrant not playing the copy of Terraforming. The 1 copy of Nightmare Pain. Now, I know a lot of players are actually bumping this up to 2. Ghost Ogre is coming a little bit in and out of the meta. You know, a lot of players are now choosing to play it a little bit more than before. And Nightmare Pain on this definitely does hurt, but the copy of Gates, which we'll mention right here, can add it back to the hand, which I feel like is just obviously a good for recursion. If they do choose to Ogre your Nightmare Pain, and they also have another Ogre for the opening, then I don't really know what they're saying. You know, I guess at that point you just got outplayed. I just don't think that you need to clog up your deck by playing 2 Nightmare Pain. Then to wrap it up, we also are playing 2 copies of Track. This also just lets you search. And like I mentioned earlier, the Fiendsmith is a 1-card combo. So those to play this can just be definitely a little bit helpful. And then also playing the 1 copy of Escape. You can play the copy of the Chamber if you want to instead. But with the new combo that we are going to be going through, now, when you look at the extra deck, we are playing the 2 copies of Yama, which is going to be a little more standard. Therefore, you can play the copy of Escape, because the first Yama you use to be able to summon back out the copy of a level 10 to go up into that copy of Verudris is no longer going to be a problem, because we're going to go up to a second copy, which can then, when you do pop the Rage with the copy of Escape, you can then bring back out the copy of Rage. So that's going to be why we do play that. But moving on to the extra deck, this is going to be a solid 40. I don't think that you necessarily need to bump it up. You can play up to 45 if you want. If you want to add in a copy of Nightmare Pain, a copy of Chaos, maybe another Bestial. I just chose not to go over that 40 limit. So for the extra deck, we are playing the 2 copies of Phantom. You absolutely can bump this up to 3 if you want to. I think if you play correctly, you don't need any more than 2. The 1 copy of High King Wave Caesar and the 1 copy of Verudris. Normally one of these, if not both, are going to be on your end board. Both of these cards are very amazing. You know, having multiple copies of Negates on the field can definitely just win you games. Then we are playing, of course, the Fiendsmith package, the Moon, the Requiem, the Sequence, alongside the Princess, the Aerial Eater, and the Desiree. So once again, you see a bunch of power cards being made in the extra deck. Not much to say about these cards here. The Aerial Eater can come up a lot in this deck, especially by being able to banish the copy of Princess and the copy of the Spirit, summon out the copy of the Aerial Eater. Quite nice, giving us essentially a free resource in the Princess. Make it so that you don't have to shuffle back your precious copy of the Fiendsmiths. That's really it for that part of the deck, you know, the Fiendsmith as well as the Yubel. Now going to kind of a little bit more flex pieces. We are playing the double copies of Yama, like I mentioned earlier. You do go through both of these in your combo, giving you access for another copy of Rage. You know, a lot of the times during your turn 0, you're going to be destroying one of your cards. Yama's going to be summoning back your second copy. And then you wouldn't want to play the trap card in the last position, because if you did pop the Rage, you had no way of bringing it back. With the second copy of Yama now, you can actually link them both away and have them both in the graveyard. So when your opponent does something, you can pop with the copy of Rage, go up into the copy of... or just pop a card, go into Rage with the Rage, bring back out Yama, which can then let you use Rage to go up into a copy of SP, which is going to be the follow-up card here. And let's just you kind of like play through with 2 interactions with just 2 cards, and then of course giving us access to this as well. So like normally your end board is going to be like a copy of Rage, this, 2 copies of the Yama in the graveyard, and then a copy of the Trap. So like that's not even kind of the Phantom that you have on field. So if you look at the kind of the instructions that we do have, you know, you have a copy of Rage along with this. So we're getting rid of 1 card here. I'll bring out a counter. So we have 1 interaction with the copy of Escape. The second copy is going to be the copy of Rage. The third copy is going to be the Verudris, as well as the 4th copy being the Phantom. So that's 4 cards for their 6 cards in their hand. And not to mention, if you have a copy of Caesar, it's going to be 5 and 6. Or a copy of the Desiree, which is going to be a 5th as well. A lot of the times you can end on a bunch of stuff like that. And then we're going to be also counting the copy of SP that you go into the Rage. So we have like 5, 6, 7 some of the interruptions that we can play through, which is very powerful if you guys don't know about that. But the last card in the next deck is going to be the copy of Mudraker. I did mention that earlier. This card is going to be kind of allowing you to extend further into your lines. Being able to sometimes bring back out the copy of Rage that you had in the graveyard, having to link up into something else, or wanting the protection. If you do have a copy of like the Yubel on the field, so sometimes a lot of times you're going to end up on like a weird board where you have like these 2 and then 1 other card. If you link up into the Mudraker and then you actually activate the effect to bring back out the copy of Rage, during your end phase, you're going to be able to summon back out a copy of the Samsara Lotus. Obviously, the copy of Phantom will be on your field as well. And then for just 1 discard here, you essentially have another negate, because Yubel's going to want to destroy itself during the end phase or tribute off a monster. You tribute off the copy of the Mudraker, and all of a sudden you have a second copy of Phantom on the board with the copy of Samsara Lotus. So really important to note, that's kind of why you want to play that card. And of course, being able to bring back out many different things that you do play definitely can be helpful, especially when you're on Sovereign, popping them with the Yubels or popping them with the copies of Shavara. But that's going to be it for the deck profile. If you guys want to be seeing some combo videos, let me know in the comment section down below. I can definitely do that for you guys. The deck is going to be absolutely incredible if you guys have never played it. I definitely recommend you look at it, especially even on Master Duel. It's fairly cheap there. I think only like 9 URs. But I definitely recommend you guys looking at this deck. You're going to be seeing it absolutely everywhere. And if you want to be seeing more, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.